Yeah, so do you remember how we first got started writing as MS Morris?
Barely, because it was many years ago.
It was such a long time ago,
Yes,
wasn't it?
it seems like a long time.
Yeah, so I was looking back, and I think it was back in 2018 when we first got started.
So we got started writing.
Yeah, together.
Yes.
Because before that, I'd been writing historical fiction
Yes.
on my own. And what people may not know is that you were writing a werewolf apocalypse series.
It's true. I can't deny it.
You can't deny
any
it.
longer.
So this werewolf apocalypse series
Yes.
is on Amazon and under Steve Morris. So you were doing that, and I was doing historical fiction set in the 20th century.
You were the pioneer. You started writing before, long before me.
Yeah. Okay. So my first book, which was Oranges for Christmas, came out in 2013.
Wow. Okay.
Which just seems like many years ago now.
Yes.
And I mean, if anyone's interested, that's about a family trying to escape from East Berlin, because I'm very interested in European history, and I studied German.
You lived in Germany.
I lived in
Germany.
That's right. I lived in Germany for a year as a student. So I had to go at historical fiction, and I also did some young adult fiction.
Yes.
And I was still writing historical fiction when I thought it would be a good idea to try something a bit more commercial. And I thought we could have a go. Well, I wanted to have a go at setting a crime series in Oxford.
In fact, you had already started drafting the first Bridget Hart book.
That's right. I mean, I had a few ideas.
You had ideas for characters and setting.
Yeah, exactly. And you were writing a werewolf apocalypse.
As previously discussed.
Which people might find rather strange.
In my defence,
yeah,
it seemed like a good idea at the time. We had just finished watching The Walking Dead on TV.
Yeah.
Zombies, apocalypse. So I had this amazing idea, werewolf apocalypse.
Yeah. And
it was a shame that nobody wanted to read those books.
No, because they're really good. And, it should have just flown off the shelves. But anyway, be that as it may, we decided, well, I'd started trying to do some crime fiction, but it's hard doing it on your own. And I remember I remember this evening quite clearly, and I think this must have been either in late 2017 or in early 2018.
Okay.
And we just had dinner, and we were doing the washing up, and we were talking about our writing and how well it was going or not, as the case may be. And I said, we should collaborate.
Yeah.
Yes.
Not like in one of your Cold War thrillers. Collaborate in a good way.
Yes, because I have written about people who collaborate with less than desirable regimes.
And that doesn't always go well.
That doesn't end well.
No,
there are probably more dead bodies in my book about the Hungarian uprising than there are in any of our crime fiction books.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
One of my friends read Goodbye to Budapest, and his comment afterwards was something like, beware the body count. So yeah, we thought we'd collaborate, and we had to find a genre that would suit both of us, that we felt we could both write in.
That we both enjoyed.
And that we both enjoyed. And that was going to be commercially successful. That was important.
Yes.
So what did we start with? It wasn't pure crime fiction as such, was it?
Our very first book was a psychological thriller.
Yes.
Because we enjoyed psychological thrillers.
Yes.
We read and we saw on TV or on film psychological thrillers and thought, wow, that's great. We could do that.
Yeah, right, okay. So this was not as easy as it looked, was it? It turned
out not to be. I thought we'd done a good job. And
so we came up with The Red Room.
The Red Room was our first book.
That's right.
Together, under the pen name M.S. Morris.
Yes, so we had to come up with a pen name, didn't we? And complete lack of imagination here. We couldn't come up with anything better than our initials. So
Margarita, Steve.
M.S. Morris. So we wrote The Red Room, and I suppose in a way that was just a learning experience for both of us, wasn't it?
Yes.
Because we had to learn how to write together.
Certainly. So you already were an established writer.
Well,
you'd written something like half a dozen books.
Yes.
I'd written probably about 4 books at that point.
Of what would be a 6-book series.
Yes.
Your werewolf books ran to 6 books.
It did eventually.
And they were long books as well.
They were long books, yeah.
So that was a substantial amount of writing that you'd done.
Yes.
As Steve Morris.
So I think it's fair to say we already knew how to write novels.
Yes.
But what we didn't know was how to write psychological thrillers or police detective murder mysteries.
Yes.
And we certainly didn't know how to write a book together.
Yes. So we had to learn how to collaborate. So I think we must have started with planning, because we've always started every book by planning. And planning in much more detail than I've, for example, ever planned any of my own books. I have a tendency.
Same here.
I would kind of rather just wade in with a bit of an idea of what I'm doing, but I think planning is really, really hard, because you kind of have to come up with the whole book before you even start writing, and it's much easier to just say, oh, never mind that, I'll think of something later, and to just start writing. But that doesn't work if you're collaborating, does it?
In a way, planning is the worst way to begin a book, because it's such a dry exercise.
Yes.
You're removing yourself from the action, and you're just moving your characters around like chess pieces.
Yes.
Whereas there's a more intuitive way of writing a novel, where you have a feeling about a character, or in your mind's eye you see a situation and you understand how that character might be reacting, what they're feeling. Even if you don't know where the story's going, you can just dive into a scene and find a character.
Yes.
And even find a story just like that. But that's no good if 2 people are writing together. It's no use me finding a story and you finding another story. We have to find the same story.
Yes.
And the only way to do that is through dialogue and planning.
Yes.
But I think in particular the crime genre, the murder mystery, really, even if you were writing alone, I think that requires a much greater degree of planning than many genres, because everything has to fit together.
Yes.
You have to see the plot unfold, the characters have to be introduced, there are going to be clues, there are going to be red herrings.
Yes.
The detective has to see everything and take the story in a particular direction. And you want twists.
Yes.
You want reveals.
Yes.
And when you come to the end, you want the solution to be surprising, yet at the same time obvious.
Yes.
And it all has to, there mustn't be any loose ends, everything has to be wrapped up.
Yes.
And so I think a plan is absolutely vital.
Yes. So I think what's interesting is that as we've written more books together, our process has become very established, hasn't it? It barely changes from, well, I don't think it does. It doesn't change from book to book, really.
I think you could argue that we set the ground rules with that first book, and we haven't really changed very much at all.
No, I don't think we've
then.
done anything different.
We do the same thing.
So boring.
We do the same thing over and over again.
Yes. So we start with a plan, and we typically spend about 4 weeks, don't we?
Yes. Yeah.
Planning.
Yes.
Which is a long time, actually, to...
Some people probably write a whole book in 4 weeks.
Can't imagine, yeah.
But, sometimes we're 2 weeks into the planning process and we've hardly got anything.
Yes,
We might have a location and a murder.
Yes.
And we just don't know what we're doing. We've got a few scenes and it's like, I think we're going to have to take 8 weeks to plan this one. And yet, it always takes 4 weeks.
Yes.
It always comes together.
Yes, yes. But it is so hard, and I find the planning really, really exhausting, because we just sit there for what feels like hours, and sometimes it feels you just can't think of anything. You just don't know what the next scene is going to be. You don't know how it's going to play out. You don't know who's going to do what, or what the detectives are going to find next. It's really, really hard work.
This is where it helps to have 2 people.
Yes.
2 people, because if you've got no idea what's going on, which is often the case.
Not of me, that I have no idea what's going on.
There's always a chance that the other person does have an idea.
Yes. Yes.
And at other times, the plan almost writes itself. Once we've got to the point where we've set things up, it's like, oh yes, then this has to happen, and because of that, this has to happen, and this scene must follow this scene, and we've got to have a scene where this happens.
Yes.
And so sometimes it can come together at lightning speed.
Yes. But I don't think, just because we've written one book doesn't mean the next one's any easier.
It's always the same.
It's always the same. It can be hard or difficult or easy depending, but And so once we've got our plan in place, which can run to, well, it can be as much as 10,000 words by the time we've listed all the characters.
Which is what, about 20 pages of
A4 typed up, yeah. So once that's in place and we've got the book mapped out scene by scene, I have always started writing the first draft. For some reason...
I know why that is.
Why is that?
It's because with our very first book, once we'd done the planning, and we thought, hey, this is it, we've got a plan, we're halfway there, and we thought, now what? And you said, I know how to start this book. I want to take it away.
Okay.
And I want to write the first draft. You had a strong vision of how it was going to work.
Right.
And you took it and you produced that first draft.
Okay.
And we've always just done the same thing.
Yes.
And that seems to suit us very well.
Yes, yes. So I like openings. I like starting new projects, and I'm full of energy and I have lots of ideas and I write lots of words. And then as I go through the book, I start to run out of energy weeks in, 8 weeks down the line.
Because writing a full-length novel is a marathon.
Yes.
It's a huge task.
Yeah. So getting to the end of the book is hard work. And our books, they're usually about 83,000 words, aren't they?
They always come out...
For some reason.
Within a couple of thousand words, the same length.
81, 82, 83.
Partly that's by design, because that's a good length for a detective novel. For the genre, you could say it's the correct length, although that's debatable.
Yeah.
Some writers will write much longer stories than that. But that's the length I like, personally. Yes. I'm comfortable writing that length. And it's the length I like to read as well. I actually don't like detective stories that are too big.
Well, they take about 8 hours to read. So the audiobooks always come out at about 8 hours.
Yes,
So that gives you an
yes,
idea.
yes.
I suppose you could read 10,000 words in an hour, 80,000 words.
Well, you can. I'm a slow reader. It takes me twice as long.
Okay. But yeah, so when I write the first draft, I do tend to underwrite. No matter how many words I think I'm writing, by the time I get to the end, there's always about 50,000. And I think, well, that's too short.
There should be 80.
There should be 80.
80, 85.
But you're very good at taking that first draft and really building it up.
So you could argue that in a way, I'm editing. You're writing the book and I'm editing.
Well, you do add a lot, though, because
I-
adding 30,000 words is a lot more than just editing.
Yes. Okay. So I'm taking what you've done and I'm developing it.
Yes.
I'm coming in fresh.
Yes.
I can see what's working.
Yes.
Where it's a bit thin, shall we say?
Yes.
Thin.
Yes.
And where it needs.
And also,
more
I think
padding.
you're coming in because you've already got 50,000 words to start with. You've got more energy to really finish off the ending.
I like endings.
You like endings, I like beginnings.
Yes.
So that's good.
I find endings are really easy, actually.
Yes.
Because you've already done all the groundwork.
Yes.
And it's just a matter of bringing everything to its fruition.
Yes. And by the time we've gone through two drafts of the book, it's pretty much there, isn't it? Then it comes back to me for another pass, another edit, goes back to you for a final polish. And
yes, and then
that's about it, really.
It's done, and then it's done.
Yes.
So people are always asking us how we write together, and people say,
"Oh yeah,
does Margarita write one chapter and then Steve write the next chapter?"
Yes.
Which obviously not, because then you'd have two writing styles sandwiched together, and that just wouldn't gel.
Yes.
And some people say, does Margarita write one character and Steve write the other character? And again, it wouldn't really work, although different characters have different points of view, it just wouldn't be a balanced book. So what we have is your writing plus my writing. And I think if our styles were very different, that probably wouldn't work.
No.
But I think our natural writing styles are similar enough.
Yes.
That we can make that work. And because of the plan,
Yep.
because we have a plan.
All hail the plan, yeah.
Without the plan, we'd be nothing. Or we'd be just one big argument, I think.
Yes. No, we never argue.
No. Because we have the plan, we know what we're supposed to be doing.
Yes.
So it's like guardrails.
Yes.
For each chapter, we have a map of what is supposed to happen.
So the final book, it's never exactly the same as the plan, but it's as good as, isn't it? Because there are always things that, as you're writing it, you think, oh, actually, it would be better if I structured it this way. But none of the changes that we make in the writing are substantive. Everything is worked out in the plan, and then it gets tweaked as we're writing, I think.
We never change who the murderer is or their motive or anything substantial like that. It's really just a matter of tightening or maybe correcting some oversight.
Yes.
Once or twice we have added in another little layer in a section of the book. If the book is coming in a little bit underweight in terms of word count,
yes,
we might say, I think we need a bit more going on in the first half of the book or in the second half of the book, or this bit where something happens that doesn't really make any sense because somebody already said something, and then we might have to just move things around a little bit, but those are minor changes. The plan is usually very, very solid. Once we have the plan, nothing really changes very
No,
much.
no, that's right.
So it's all in the planning.
Good.
And what happens if we don't agree about the plan?
So we do it my way.
That's one approach.
That's one approach. No, seriously, if there's anything in the planning stage that we're not quite seeing eye to eye on, then we just talk it through until we come to a solution, I think is the answer.
And I think we generally find a better solution that way, don't we?
Yeah, I hope so, yes.
By bringing two points of view and
Yes.
talking it through and
Yes.
understanding why one person is saying one thing, then I think
Yes.
we generally come to a better solution than the original, or at least we find one that we can agree on.
Yes, exactly. And that's what matters.
Yes.
So we've done one series in Oxford and one series in Scarborough in North Yorkshire, and now we're just starting our third series. So first Bridget Hart book in Oxford came out in 2019. The last book in North Yorkshire is coming out this year, in 2025, as we record this,
Yes.
and it will be coming out at the end of this month, which is November 2025.
Yes.
And our next series, which is going to be set in Pembrokeshire in Wales, the first book is coming out on the 1st of May 2026. So how much longer are we going to keep this up, Mr. Morris?
as long as our readers keep wanting more.
Yes.
So I think we've probably talked enough for our introductory video. We didn't introduce ourselves, but are we going to say goodbye?
Yes, we will say goodbye.
We'll say goodbye. And are we going to give a clue about what we're doing next time?
We haven't discussed that, so I think we need to go back to the planning stage on that one.
A planning session is required.
A planning session
yes.
is required.
Okay. Well, all right. Until next time.
Okay, until next time. Bye.